Okay, welcome to today's lesson, which is ingredients, and in fact it's direct proportion. So I'm going to start off with this little starter now. I always like to start off with this starter here. It's worth pausing this if you are watching. So here's the starter. So we've got here a broken calculator, and you've got to find the way to get to these numbers. So how would I get from 2 to 10? Only using multiply and divide. So an example of that first one, well, what would I need to do to get from 2 to 10? I would times by 5. So here, how would I get from 3 to 21? I'd times by 7. How would I get from 9 to 30? You divide by 3 and then times by 10. So have a little go at that. Maybe pick some of the green ones to have a go at, some of the amber and then some of the red. Off you go with that. Pause now to have a go at those. Okay, I'm going to put the answers for these up. So here's the answers to those. Mark those in green, the ones that you had to go at. Okay, now this is actually a really important skill. This isn't just a little game that we play, this is a skill that we need to use all the time with direct proportion, especially these ingredients questions. It's about trying to figure out how we get from one number to another just using multiply and divide, so using things which are in proportion. Okay, so let's have a little look at some of these questions. So remember to get these down in your book. The only way to learn maths is to do it, and that's really important. So here we've got a recipe for a carrot cake which serves 4 people. So if this recipe serves 4 people, what do I need to do if we want a serving of 8 people? Okay, so what do I need to do with all of these ingredients? So this one's quite straightforward. I think you should find this one pretty easy. How do I get from 4 to 8? Okay, so it starts off very similar to the way we were doing this one here. How do I get from 4 to 8? Well, I can do that in one step. All I need to do is to times by 2. Okay, so with this one here, to get from 4 to 8, I need to times by 2. So with all of these here, I need to times by 2. So it's going to be 450 millilitres times by 2, which is equal to 900 millilitres. 400 grams times by 2, which is equal to 800 grams. 2 tablespoons, that's what TSP stands for, of bicarbonate soda times by 2, which is equal to 4 tablespoons. 5 eggs times by 2 is going to be 10 eggs. This one's here is a little bit trickier, where we've got the half a tablespoon. You could do that as 0.5 if you want. 0.5 times by 2. 0.5 teaspoons of that. I think I said tablespoons before. Not sure if it's tablespoons or teaspoons now. I'm confusing myself. So 0.5 times by 2, which is 0.51, 1.52. Why am I times by 4? 0.5 times by 2, which is equal to 0.51, only 1 tablespoon or teaspoon. You can do that on your calculator if you wanted to, if you had a calculator. 0.5 times by 2, which is equal to 1. Next one here is 2.5. I'm going to write this as 2.5 times by 2, which is equal to 5 teaspoons or tablespoons, I need to figure out what that is, of ground cinnamon. 525 grams of carrots times by 2. So 525 times by 2 in this case is equal to 1,050 grams of carrots. And the last thing is the walnuts, so 150 times by 2, which is equal to 300 grams of the chopped walnuts. And that's that question done. That one seems quite easy, and that's because it is. The ones where it's a little bit harder is where we actually have to break them down and build them back up. So here's all your answers for this one. That's really straightforward. Here we've got something for 5 people. And we want 20 servings. So I'm not going to spend too long doing this one again. I think we should be able to do this. Okay. I would get one of these examples down, okay? In your notes, remember the only way to learn maths is to do it. So how do I get from 5 to 20? And the only way you can get from 5, well, there's several different ways you can get from 5 to 20, but the easiest way is just times by 4. It's 4 times bigger. If you want a technique on the calculator of how to do that, you could do 20 divided by 5, which would give you 4. Same 4. 5 times by 4 is 20. There is a technique there for you to do that if you've got a calculator. You've not always got a calculator with this though. So with each of these here, I need to times by 4. Like so. Nice and straightforward, that one. Okay, this is where we are getting a little bit trickier. So we've got servings for 12 people. However, Billy wants servings for 8 people. Now, if you did the starter really well, you might find this really easy. Okay, so how do I get from 12 to 8? Now, usually this comes up on a non-calculator paper, okay? So you've got to be really careful with what we're doing here. So, if we're trying to get from 12 to 8, it's always trying to break it down to an easier number first. So what can I divide by and then times by? Well, I can divide this into 4 by dividing by 3. So if I divide by 3, that'll give me 4. And then how do I get from 4 to 8? Well, I need to then times that by 2. Okay? And that's the steps. That's all you need to do. This is the hardest part, that starter that we did. If you nailed that, then this becomes easy. Okay? So 12, how do I get to 8? Well, I'm dividing by 3 to get 4. And I'm timesing by 2 to get 8. And then all you need to do is do that to all of these. So 175 grams divided by 3 times by 2. So 175 divided by 3 times by 2, in this case, is 116.6. 666 recurrings, which rounds to 7. Let's do the next one. The next one's exactly the same, isn't it? Divide by 3 times by 2, which is going to be the same, 116.7 grams. 3 tablespoons divided by 3 times by 2. Let's get some of these up. So I'm just going to put all the answers up here. The key part is this top part up here. How do I get from 12 to 8? I would suggest getting this one down in your book. Okay, because this one's where it gets a little bit trickier. Brilliant. So this is quite a straightforward lesson today, not too difficult. I do have some questions for you to have a go at. It's based on the bake-off, actually. Because a lot of the times people use these kind of things when they are doing cooking. These are all recipe questions. So you will see these come up in GCSE saying what's this or what's that or how many can you make. So with this one here, you've got to try and make it up to 24 people. Okay, so you've got various different recipes and you've got to try and make up for 24 people. So here you've got 12 on that first one. And you've got to try and make it to 24. So what am I going to do with that? This one's 6. So have a go at those questions yourself. How do I get from this to that? How do I get from 12 to 24? How do I get from 6 to 24? Have a go at those questions yourself. Pause now. I'm going to put these answers up. Well done if you've got those right. These last second ones are a little bit trickier. How did I get from 16 to 24? Well, if you were thinking about that, and if you've done that one, you should have done this already if you're looking at these answers, then it would have been divided by 2, which gives you 8, and then times by 3, which is 24. So we've got some trickier ones here for you to have a go at. Have a go at these questions. Pause now. And I'm going to put the answers up. So how did I get from 10 to 24? Well, I would have there divided by 5 to get 2, and then times by 12 to get 24. From 5 was a tricky one. I'd probably divide by 5 and times by 24. Okay. There is a little extension question there if you want to have a go at those ones. We've got some other conversions as well. Pause now and have a go at those. These are pretty straightforward today with this one. I'm going to put those answers up, mark those in green. Okay, and that's that lesson done today. Really straightforward with that one today. Not too tricky, only a short one. So thanks for watching and have a lovely day.